Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
the Mobile DJ Video Podcast.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode number 3 of the Mobile DJ Video Podcast. I am DJ Darion with today our guest, Mr. Mario McKellar.
Yo,
Welcome to the show, Mario.
how's it going out there?
Okay, so as you know, we are on episode 3 of the video podcast. We don't really have much structure in this. It's just basically talking to our house DJs that we have here at the company. DNA Entertainment, of course, out of Monterey, California. Mario, tell me a little bit about yourself. What got you into DJing, and what makes you like the company DNA Entertainment?
Well, I've never been asked that question.
That's what we talk about.
I've do I have the mic now for as long as I want?
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. We want to hear your
We're-
voice though.
We're gonna talk a little.
There
bit.
we
We're
go.
gonna talk a little bit about the beginnings. The beginnings are a little tricky. The first year was a little tricky for me because, what is it? You learn a little bit more about the business part of it. And what's the business? Weddings, right?
Weddings is mostly what we drive our business toward.
Percentage?
It wasn't like that in the beginning, of course, though.
What percentage would you say we do now? Mostly weddings, 90%.
I'd say it's pretty close to 50-50.
You think
Yeah,
events?
yeah.
Event wise, okay. Because
We do over 300 events, and I mean, I think right now, I know I am at the most with around I think 60 already
for
done
this year.
for this year. Most of them are weddings, but a
what I'm
small
saying,
few
like-
are like corporate events.
I think corporate
things,
events and
like
other
this last weekend, or on Monday. It's Wednesday now. I was up in San Francisco and did a corporate event up there. So
Let's put it this way: I didn't have any training when I first started working by myself. I didn't have I just said, hey, I'm gonna buy a controller, buy a computer, put myself out there as a DJ. Right? I think a lot of people do that. I think
they don't understand the whole business. Obvious.
No.
The background and
Thank God for the
what
internet.
consists of. It's not just showing up to a club or a restaurant and playing music for a few hours. Then you start getting into private events. Then you have to do contracts. You have to get
Contracts
insurance.
are-
You have to get a very good reputation, because one small mix-up, one small whoops-a-daisy, and that could screw up a lot of things, can it?
Well, I think we all know that.
Yes.
So,
A boo-boo.
no. Okay.
No boo-boos.
So yeah, I've seen people online saying, "Hey, can you guys post your contract so we can check them out?" And yeah, it's cool. It's fun now that the internet's out. But back in the days when I was DJing, we didn't have too much of that. Those forums. However, I just the first wedding I DJ'd, I didn't represent DNA, and I was by myself. And I was at the Highlands Inn, in
One of our
Carmel.
most popular locations to get married around here.
And I had gotten booked through, a friend for a very low rate. I was just trying to get my first gig out there, and I didn't even bring a microphone.
Ah.
It was a very interesting time when the guy came up to me and
Well,
said, "Hey, are you going to do the grand entrance?"
Well, a trick, as if you didn't know, if you have no microphone and you need to have a microphone, you can just use your headphones.
Can you show us how to do that? Like, you can actually use your
Yeah, I
mic.
think I can actually. Give me a second.
Wow, look at this guy. He is fast and furious. He didn't waste any time. Look at that. Okay.
And now you should hear my voice,
That sounds phenomenal.
right? There you go. So you can use this if you are in a bind to use as
And I've
a
actually
microphone.
I've actually seen him do this.
Check out 1, 2.
We were at the club one night, and the DJs didn't bring they didn't bring any mics. Oh, yeah, you're gonna kill these people's ears doing all that. We might have to edit. This
Sorry
out.
about that.
He's definitely gonna have to edit that out.
Might, maybe. Actually, I don't really do any post-production on these at
Anyways,
all.
man,
This is
so,
all
you know,
one take.
There's just there's no price on the amount of on what do you call it? Being prepared? You know, knowing what's gonna happen the day of, knowing what how to talk with your client.
Preparation is key with any event, I would have to say, especially mostly for weddings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the law. What is it? Newton laws. What can go wrong will go wrong. Right? Some people.
I guess, yeah.
I've seen weird.
For
things
every
happen.
action, there's an opposite but equal reaction.
I don't know.
That's Newton's fourth law, I believe.
I've seen with my own two eyes. I've seen weird things happen at weddings. I've seen cakes fall over. I've seen.
I've never seen a cake fall over. I've seen it droop
it was
to one side.
That's what it was.
It
was all messed
but I've never
up,
seen.
There was no coming back from that.
Yeah, I'm actually quite
like
surprised that after all these years and hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 weddings I've DJ'd in my career, I've never really seen like a really bad, horrific, moment where I've seen people fall over because they're drunk, but I've never seen like a cake fall over or, something really bad happening to the bride's dress. Like I've seen people spill wine on the bride's dress and it was like really not that bad, but I've never seen it where it was like, catastrophic where she had to leave for a while. I mean, I've seen brides being drunk and having to leave themselves. I've seen people being very drunk and having to leave. I've even been in a room where there was a bridesmaid. She was completely passed out while all the vendors were trying to eat dinner, and there she is next to a bucket and a half bottle of Jack Daniels. So, I mean, we get to see a lot of cool stuff, but like, thankfully, I haven't seen anything catastrophic. Like I have a DJ friend who was on a boat. He was on a boat, and the father of the bride had a heart attack and died right there. So it ruined the whole wedding, obviously.
I wouldn't even talk about that.
But
yeah, it's
a true story. Yeah.
I got to talk to
Anthony was DJing a wedding, I think, like 2 years ago, and someone had a stroke or a seizure. I think it was a seizure. So the fire department had to come and pull him out. I mean, you got to get through it. And I mean, can you imagine being a DJ and having something like that happen in front of you? Like I can't imagine. But I mean, you have to be professional at every little thing that you can.
Well, what would you do? You just can't go on and play like house music or anything.
No. Well, you gotta somehow be accommodating to the people that are there. Try to keep them away from whatever situation is happening over there, or if they can pull that person out or whatever. And just try to make the best of it, because that's all you can do.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I want to touch on the subject of the misconception.
Come on, why don't you sit up for something slouchy here?
All right. It's just that.
This is the Mobile DJ Video Podcast.
Yeah, you guys can't see here. It's 5 a.m, and this guy's got me propped up like 6 feet.
5 a.m, guy.
I can't even touch.
Fast forward 12 hours.
All right, so here's what's going on. I want to touch on the subject of the misconception of the button. I want to be the DJ and hit the button. That is a misconception. There's a lot
some
of
guy,
ways.
Let me do this.
Well, no.
I don't know what I'm doing here.
No, the misconception is that people think, oh, you're a DJ. It's really fun. We're gonna try to book you for $150. What do they say? Stuff like, they don't know that, this stuff is heavy. They don't know everything that goes into it.
Get that close to your mouth, guy. You're a DJ.
Yo.
Yes. People want to hear your voice.
This guy will.
See? It's like we're now. There you go. Now you sound better. Chris Chambers, our last person to be on here. It took him about a half hour to figure this thing out. I know it kind of gets away from you.
Okay, well, let's talk about what you got. You've already talked about this, so people probably don't want to hear about that. Let's see. What else can we talk about that's really important?
Well, I like the little topics you were bringing up. I do have one other. It's really hard to bring up subjects related to DJing, I think, or mobile DJing. I mean, I literally was on Google for a good 30 minutes just typing up, good DJ topics. And I actually found out there are quite a few DJ podcasts out there. I haven't listened to any of them yet, but I'm sure it's mostly DJs just doing mixes and stuff like that. I don't really think that's a podcast. Podcast is like people informing people of topics and their opinions about certain things, and getting inside information about the business that we're in, which is kind of broad in a way, because it's not just DJing weddings. You just did a prom that went well, right?
Yeah, that
was like 2 weekends ago, and I was able to check it out for a little bit, and you had the whole crowd going. It's playing some real fun music. All the kids were having a good time. And we got a very good review on it, and it was a good review because the person who hired us, we haven't done a wedding or we haven't done a school function for them in a long time. And with schools, as you know, it's very hard to book school dances sometimes because they don't really have the budget. And we charge a pretty, it's $200 an hour, 3-hour minimum. That's your standard dance right there. For $600, you get a very good, talented DJ who knows the music, who knows how to work with the crowd, bring some fun dance music, bring some fun dance lights. We're insured. And you're basically guaranteeing that night those kids are going to have a good time, basically. That's our whole objective, our main goal. And then when they try to say, oh, well, we don't have the budget and all that, I mean, that's just like, do you really want another guy to go? And then they'll get some, kid to do it. And then we hear all the time, just like this review we just got, they're like, dude, DJ Mario was one of the best DJs we have had in a while. Usually the kids have negative things to say about. They didn't have one negative thing to say about this guy. So that's good. We like hearing that kind of feedback. I wish other, schools and teachers and, people would understand that, we don't just show up and play music and that's it. I mean, there's a lot more. We have to read each crowd. Each school is different.
Yeah, for sure. Look, one of the things that I like to talk with, my clients about when it comes to weddings is to go into it with a relaxed kind of, don't go into it with you got to play 100 songs, because then that limits the DJ to, be able to really move the crowd and play the requests that they want the night of. Nobody's going to, you can't say nobody's going to dance to their music, but you could say something like, oh,
you mean when a person comes on and requests an awkward song, like an obscure,
no. Like for instance, when I've had clients give me a sheet of over 200 songs.
You're like, hey, play this song.
Right.
But it's like, wait, what's this?
Right, and it'll really clear the dance floor. I've had it happen, but it's cool.
I played Journey before and it cleared the dance floor.
Yeah, and
it's true.
Well, if they don't like Journey, then
you got to try something else. All right, so I have a topic here. I mean, it's nothing really, but Chauvet, right? We know Chauvet. They make a lot of great DJ lights.
Yeah.
They're now going to start distributing the Sound Switch. Have you heard of the Sound Switch?
No, I haven't.
So this was posted about a day ago. The entertainment lighting powerhouse Chauvet and Sons LLC has announced that they have reached an agreement with the New Zealand-based 161 Ltd to have Chauvet DJ distribute the Sound Switch hardware software package in North America as well as throughout much of the world. This deal makes a game-changing control solution which now allows DJs to trigger and keep their lighting in sync while playing any track. So it's a little box. You can look it up. It's a little box that you hook up to your, USB, and then you hook it up to your mixer, I believe. So like it goes from like your mixer out, maybe your booth out into this box, which goes into the computer, and somehow it kind of works with Serato to basically use the lights that you have and create shows without having an additional person there doing the shows for you, or you could set up cue points. Saying, once again, DJs will now be able to attach lighting cues to their audio tracks and video files, which will allow them automatically play back and sync while performing live for the mixing or controller board. Sound Switch is compatible with any DJ mixing board or controller equipped with Serato DJ. Chauvet CEO Albert Chauvet described the groundbreaking achievement a game changer, quoting, Sound Switch puts the total show experience under the control of the DJ by seamlessly integrating DMX lighting with live audio. End quote.
I have a question.
Okay, what's your question?
Have you ever had a DJ nightmare? Like, have you ever had a nightmare about a gig that's going wrong?
Yes.
You have?
Of course.
I
Absolutely.
have too. What's up with that? I've actually never had one until recently, and it freaked me out.
It's usually right in the middle of wedding season when I'm constantly, because, I manage the company. So I'm managing 9 other DJs in our company. So that's 9 other brides. That's 9 other grooms. That's 9 other bridezillas and godzillas, whatever you want to call them. And then, then you have wedding coordinators, then you have event coordinators, and you have specialists and this and that. So there's a lot of communication, and there's a lot of, most of the time it goes very, very well. And obviously on a Saturday when we have 8 other weddings going on and I'm DJing a wedding, we try to stay in communication with everybody and everything that's going on. It gets a little stressful. And then, yes, sometimes you'll be, the night before an event, and
Well, I had a dream that it was at the high school dance that I did, right? That the music turned off and I couldn't get it on. I just couldn't get the music.
you tried every
I
chord,
tried everything in it.
every button.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
It
not
was
a good
bad.
feeling when the music just automatically shuts off and you're like, what the hell happened? You try searching. It's like, was it the power
No, man.
cord? Was it the USB cord?
I
People
freaked
coming
out.
up and bumping into your stuff. I mean, that sucks.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I haven't really had anything drastic like that happen to me recently. But yes, I have gotten, dreams where something just does not go right.
Question: do you still get nervous?
Occasionally.
Yeah?
Occasionally. Not really a
What-
lot.
What makes you nervous?
The ceremony.
Always.
That's the only thing that really gets me going. It's because because you don't like, the reason why we don't use wired microphones is because it looks tacky, gets in the way of the pictures. You need a mic stand.
But you're praying to God that they don't go out.
Well, with a corded mic, you don't really have to worry about that. I mean, it's literally a 99.9% safe, sure
No.
bet that thing will not cut out. Now, at certain venues, say like Holman Ranch, those wireless, lav mics, they're very finicky, very touchy. And every time I do an event there, I love Holman Ranch, but for some reason, that lav mic, it pops here and there. There's something in the air being on top of that mountain. I don't know, with the waves.
I know what it is.
If they move, if the groom, the officiant does this, if he moves around,
it cuts.
It cuts out.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what it is.
So I'm as close as I can with that receiver on
Yes,
top
sir.
of my speaker.
I've seen you.
And you have it. I think you have it Velcroed. This guy has like everything Velcro.
Velcro.
Yeah.
Velcro will save your life.
Velcro is something that I should probably utilize a little bit more.
I put let me show you guys. For the ceremonies, everyone
He has
asks,
Velcro on his computer,
Everyone asks, yes, for my hard drive, so that when it's even Velcro to the fans. That
which is
keep
not
it
a bad
cool.
idea. I mean, I'm afraid of that thing like slipping or something like
Yeah,
that,
see?
falling.
Exactly. So look, one long.
Oh, so the actual computer doesn't move.
Yeah. So one long strip, and this is actually on the bottom.
DJ tip by Mario McKellar.
So here's what's going to happen. When you decide to put your computer, like this, it's not going to fall. Someone comes up.
There
And
you
so
go.
I also put a little strip in here, and here, these
That's
two
where he put
strips,
his hard drive.
hard drives.
Yeah.
And they stack, so I can have two on top of each other. So I don't actually do it, but now all my music's
You
actually,
could. Stacks on stacks.
all my music is in the computer for the day of. So I actually delete all the music every week out of my iTunes.
Why? Okay. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you want to keep some music on your hard drive, like as you
The
know?
only music I do keep on the hard drive is the super direct breaks and all the stuff from vinyl that I can scratch.
What
because
about
now-
background music for like the ceremony? Like, do you use that
No.
same computer for a ceremony and something
absolutely no. So what I do for ceremonies is I use this iPod. I'm sorry. I use this little iPod. I put all the music that I'm going to need the day of, everything. So it's usually about 130 songs for every wedding that I've done.
else? Wow.
And that's including in case your laptop breaks down.
Sure.
You can rock the whole
That's your
night.
backup
This is your
equipment,
backup.
basically.
I don't
Yeah.
use the USB on the controller or anything like that anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I've
that's what
had
I
that-
use. I
I'd
mean, you
had
could either
that
use this
finicky on me
method
one
or
time.
you could do. I mean, it is a little tougher on this because I
Yeah.
don't really have. I have like my
Yeah,
top
yeah.
40
You have
crate,
to
which has got
download-
about I don't know.
You have to
1,000
download
songs.
Engine and format your USB, and then it
Right.
messed up my USBs. Now they're not reading, all kinds of
Yeah,
weird shit's going on.
then they only work just for this. So you have to buy a dedicated. Like I bought a dedicated 256 gig flash drive just for this guy right here.
So I don't use the Bluetooth on the Anchor systems that we use because I mean they're really good. It's used,
Right.
It's
Some of our Anchor
Bluetooth
speakers, if you don't know,
for-
have Bluetooth capability on them. Not all of them, I
We'll talk
believe.
about what an Anchor
I think
is.
you have one, and that's it.
Talk about what an Anchor is. People don't know what the anchors are. They're just anchors are the systems that we use for ceremonies or
It's
for
a portable,
cocktail hours.
battery-operated, all-in-one unit that
They're
we
huge,
use.
but
They
they're
are
light.
huge. Yeah, I mean it's
For
just
what they are.
I mean, yeah, it's about the same. It weighs
What a
about
com-
the same as like a K12.
What a companion. They're legit. Everything
Companions are
sounds
really
good.
light.
Yeah,
Because
everything
it's got no
sounds
battery in it.
good.
But these things have built-in microphones, even though we don't use
large
we use-
batteries.
yeah, large batteries. Well, actually, they're like motorcycle batteries, from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
They're
See, I
easy
could
to
see
replace,
something like
too.
that.
Anyways, they have 6-year warranty on them, which is phenomenal. If anything happens to them in 6 years, they get replaced or they get fixed
And
pretty easily. They're not cheap.
Tons of inputs. Check them out, man. Check them out. The Anchor Systems by
Yeah, and I haven't really looked recently, but there's no other company that really makes anything like an Anchor speaker. So they pretty much
Not
get to
as
charge
good.
whatever they want.
They're expensive. They're good though.
Yeah.
So what I do for the ceremonies or for cocktail hour or anything like that that's going to be out of the room where our main system's not set up. Usually you'll have a system set up, by the dance floor, and you're only going to leave it there. You're not going to like move that around. So what I do is I'll set up an Anchor system with an iPod. And then for like the ceremonies, it's really important for me to get the music numbered just right. I actually put it in sequential numbers so that when I put it into the iPod, I go to the
Number
one, and that's what the ceremony. Right. Preludes.
Yeah, prelude music.
First thing is first.
Right.
You're gonna show up. You're gonna plug in your speaker, and you're gonna start playing preludes. Right. Boom. Prelude music. But give yourself about an hour and a half of good preludes. You won't use it all, but sometimes the groom will walk to a prelude because they don't have anything to walk out to, and the bride's coming out.
Depends on how they're doing the ceremony. Yeah.
Right. We talk more about that with them. We wouldn't just show up and play music that it's on the iPod. What I'm saying is,
and we're waiting for that bride. Where is she?
Have you ever had that happen?
I've had them take their time. Yeah.
I've had them have cold feet, and
I've had them take their time.
I've had a fire at the Clement, and
really
that postponed us. Yeah.
Wow.
I did an Indian wedding. I did the Clement's really cool. They do all kinds of different kinds of weddings.
We're talking about the Intercontinental Clement here in Monterey, which is a very nice location right on the water, just down the street from the Monterey Plaza Hotel.
Speaking, do you have a favorite location? You like?
I've gotten that question asked quite a few times, and I don't, because I've been everywhere a lot of different times. I like Holman Ranch just because of the layout. It's very beautiful, but they're very finicky on sound, and you're over at 10 o'clock. I like Bayonet and Black Horse because you can get to go till midnight, which is very rare.
Black Horse is legit.
Yeah, just lock the door. But I mean, to be honest, I like any place where there's a people that want to dance. I have a good time, and they dance at pretty much anything. So that could be anywhere. Like on Saturday, I'm DJing at a friend's ranch out in Salinas. It's like their dairy ranch or something like that. They're having about 275 people. It's this girl that I've known for a while. It's freaking Meg from Lollapalooza. Remember Meg?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's getting married on Saturday.
You're doing her wedding?
I'm doing her wedding, yeah.
Oh, nice, man.
So
she's a homie.
I know it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun because I know them personally. But going back to like actual venues, I mean, there's a lot of great venues around here. I mean, there's not that one that I'm going to pick. There's a lot of good ones.
Good music for you guys. Do you have are you listening to new music lately?
I should and I don't. We update our music every week now. With the TM Century, and I've been meaning to just put it on my freaking flash drive and just put it in my car and listen to it to and from work, which I should do, or listen to it here at work. But unfortunately, if I'm on the phone, I can't listen to music that way, and I'm not really updated. So if I can, I'll try and listen to the radio, but the radio is bad enough because they just replay the same songs over and over and over and over and over.
I would let you borrow this iPod. You know what? I have an extra one. This one has really good stuff that I've been on, new stuff, like all this funky, like old school funk that
he's really into the 70s funk era right now, which is kind of funny.
That's what people are dancing to. You throw on some Bee Gees, people want Bee Gees. People want when it's time to dance, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not
But it's going to be current with the current music as well.
Ceremonies, bro. I got
Latin
some new
music
stuff.
too.
I got some new quartet stuff, not by the Vitamin String Quartet, the San Francisco Club, Hot Club or something of San Francisco. They're legit. It's very Django Reinhardt.
But the thing with us is it's we're not really doing a lot of clubs or stuff like that. It's like we have to cater to what the client wants.
Right.
So you kind of go from there. So if you give them an idea,
but you don't give. I see. Here's the misconception too. The client will give you 10, 20 songs maximum, right? They don't really give you that many songs.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Depending.
So you have to fill in the blanks. You have to fill in the void. So if they like classic rock, you're going to play a little classic rock, right? You're going to talk to them and say, hey, can we play a little top 40s? And everything's got to be done appropriately. So the preludes, usually it's that kind of stuff, quartet stuff. Then for like
Yeah,
cocktail
but
hour,
prelude music is just basically background music as people are arriving and sitting down for the ceremony. The
background
bride and
music.
groom don't
It's
even
not
listen
important.
to this.
It's
It's
not.
not that, but
It's
some
not important.
brides take it very seriously. They're like, I want to have these songs
Bach.
leading up,
Concerto number
Yeah, number
tres.
9, an E minor flat.
Yeah, for sure. And so but moving on to ceremony, right? What happens? Pronounced husband and wife, they go take pictures, and everyone moves over to the cocktail hour. And the cocktail hour's got to be a little more lively, but not right in their face lively. So you ease them in by playing stuff like that, like a little more upbeat.
Hey, yo, DJ, stop the music!
Yeah, definitely don't.
Stuff like that, right?
No, that you can do stuff like that when you got the floor packed, and let's talk about shout.
Well, that kind of leads up to this next question. You have a couple events coming up, one of which is tomorrow night, the 4th of May.
I do.
It's a casino night.
Yeah, it's gonna be legit. And so
we're going to play for the casino night.
that's a good question because I don't have anything ready for them. That I'm gonna go home and start.
Lula's conversation.
That I do like some Elvis, but no.
You can throw that a little on.
That's in my cocktail hour mix for 2007. See, I'm getting into the old school stuff, but it's also mixed in with a lot of the new stuff, like the Bruno Mars and stuff.
See, I don't even have that song on my top 40 anymore. I don't know, somehow it got
Oh, I do.
yanked
For
out.
sure. And right now, the only thing that's on my computer is the super duck breaks so that I can scratch. I'm trying to really get into the scratching because it makes a big difference when you're scratching during a mix. You mix the song and then you get into a little scratching. They go nuts. It makes a big difference. I like to keep the dance floor packed by playing what guest requests, and I'll usually be on the mic like, don't forget to request your favorite song, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be here, for another 3 hours.
That song, right?
This guy. That's not the
That's
song.
a good Vegas song. Yeah, it's a
That's
great song.
like, that's a mix.
No, it's not.
Yes.
A little less conversation.
Yeah, that's a horrible-
JXL
That's
remix.
a horrible mix. The one I got is the play the real one, the original. A little less conversation. Yeah, play that one. There you go. Funk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about this. Shawn Lee Ping and Tommy Guerrero are like the new ones right now that I'm listening to. That I'm, I also work at Il Vecchio, so a little restaurant. Can we get a Il Vecchio little plug?
Sure, go for it.
So I work at a little restaurant, and they let me DJ every time I work. So for I do the same thing. I
Oh,
fill
yes, he
out,
brings in his own music for
bring-
when he goes to work.
It's legit. I can control the music from my laptop
That's
on my
kinda cool.
iPhone. So as I'm working throughout the night, if I don't like a song, I can just pull out my phone, fade it out, and go to the next song. I can't beat match or anything fancy like that, but it's legit, and it makes for a good environment. Everyone's happy. If it's too loud, I can turn it down. If it's not
Right.
loud enough, I can turn it up.
Sure.
And a lot of the times people don't do that. Like you go to most places, they just keep the music on at a certain volume. That's it. Every song is different. You have to, feel it out. If people are I played TLC for some reason, and people at the bar went ham. The two girls were like, oh, they were like, baby. It was crazy. So, I like that kind of stuff. Good reactions. Good time.
All right, so you know what Friday is?
Oh,
That's not. That
Fetty Wap.
was terrible. Let's do. So you know what this Friday is? No, that's even a horrible one.
This guy.
I'm trying to pick out like a. How about a Mexican song or a
All
Latin
right,
song?
let me bust one of these DJ Mario.
All right, so this
mixes.
Friday we have Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that's right. I don't even
Are you
have
doing anything
nothing
for
planned
Cinco de Mayo?
We should have got booked for that. Somebody should have booked it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it's on a Friday.
I'm the only Mexican DJ, only like bilingual Mexican DJ on the company.
Yes,
This is a
if
big
you did
deal.
not know, he is our other bilingual DJ, Chris
Buenas tardes,
Adame.
damas y caballeros. Estamos aquí con el DJ Darion de DNA. Entretenimiento. Esta noche vamos a presentarles este control de Denon. Muchas gracias.
See, there you go.
Y la
So
chalupa.
he does that stuff too. I'm not very good at
No,
that.
I don't really do that.
Yeah, not really.
Cheshma,
La
cheshma.
buena.
I can also speak a little Farsi.
Okay. And then next week you are doing a Santa Catalina middle school dance
That's
on the
gotta
12th.
be fun.
That should be interesting. Santa Catalina is a private school,
Christian
very
girl.
private Christian school.
They
do K through 8, both boys and girls, and then middle school through high school is only female.
Yeah.
So there's your Catholic schoolgirl kind of thing you got to do.
It's tricky with that crowd because you got parents and they're Christian too, so you can't play too much. Actually, you can't play anything.
You gotta be
suggestive.
terrible. Well, yeah.
You really
I
can't
mean, there's
play,
gonna be
like,
boys and girls there, but,
yeah, but
I mean,
you can't play like Flow Rider Low. You can't.
yeah, that's iffy. That's
Is
an
it
iffy.
iffy?
It's iffy. Yeah, it's not
eighth graders
apple bottom
and-
jeans. It's not. Really, your people are getting low. You can't play like
Low,
Baby Got
low.
Back. You can't play like
I can't
anything
play
by
Baby-
Nicki Minaj. Nothing that's like drug and like club
you know what?
related.
I
Like
think I
turned
might
down
hit
for
'em with the
what?
funk.
That's like, eh. But Santa Catalina is like one of those schools like they like a little bit of everything. So they'll like a lot of 80s. They'll like a lot of 90s.
They were happy with what I did last time with them. We just did their benefit, and it was pretty
Yeah,
fun.
but that was all adults. We're talking about
The kids, but a few
Catholic-
kids were there, and they
Catholic
probably
middle
requested
school.
me because they saw me turn the adults up. The adults had a blast, man.
yeah, but like say the last dance you did for North Salinas High School plug.
North Salinas, sorry.
North
bro.
Salinas High. North Salinas High, you can't play that ratchety kind of, booty slapping the floor,
For
whatever.
Santa Catalina, sure I can, but I won't. No, no, we. It's just time and a place, It's just
Yes.
you
That's why knowing
But
all
I
different
take-
genres and styles of music is so
I
key.
take it slow. I don't worry about the next week's events because then I won't have time to worry about this week's events. So
There
the
you go.
week of.
Those are just a couple.
This
little
guy's
events
work
you got coming
etiquette is insane. He can work all day plus DJ at night, and he can DJ 5 to 6, maybe even 7 days a week if he had to.
because I like what I do.
I know, but it's a little
I'd rather
stressful.
be DJing.
Let's talk
that's
about
for
how
sure.
stressful this job is. It's
For
it's
what
not-
it can be stressful because
How long you been doing it for?
almost 20 years.
Okay, well, okay, this guy's obviously an OG vet. So.
Seen and heard a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and he knows how to. I've seen it. I've seen DJs who don't know how to work with the flow and direct traffic the right way. If something happens, things get iffy. I've seen lights going crazy that just shouldn't be going crazy. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff that I just want to
This
speak
is the
out
guy
on.
with the lights too. You want to have a great light show. This is the guy who you call because
We love
we
the
typically
lights.
don't bring a lot of lights, except this guy likes to bring his own, which is fine. It's okay. I don't see anything wrong with him bringing like a tree of lights. That's like he can manipulate with his DMX controller and make the room look good, as long as you don't have stuff going on, say like during the first dance.
No, but
and,
guess what? I just found out
Huh?
that I can actually sync those little Chave, the wireless. Actually, can I borrow one so I can mess with it with my controller? So
Yeah, I can give you one.
Because when we're in the venue, I can actually, you don't have to do anything. I can just control them.
Because you have those wireless transmitters,
well,
right?
I have a wireless transmitter,
Right.
but they're all receivers.
I think you can do that then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should try it
I
out.
already
yeah.
did it. I already did it. John
Yeah.
came to Santa Catalina when I was there last time.
Mhm.
He did it for one, and I was like messing with it. I was strobing it. I was doing some pretty cool
Cool.
thing. Could you imagine to strobe the whole room for
That'd
a
be sick.
drop?
Yeah, right.
Right, and
I'd
then
love
the
that.
lasers, and then,
Yeah.
oh man, I would go
Yeah.
nuts.
That would be fun. I wish we could invest a little bit in lighting, but of course,
We have.
yeah,
have that
we
mesh
have.
controller
But I mean,
now.
it's just then like of course the boss wants to get his compensation from that. So it's like if you get a light, you might as well rent it out for a certain amount, kind of thing. And like I understand that whole sales point kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you need certain lights for certain
What
events,
else
for
do we
certain
rent?
functions.
What else don't we rent?
Yeah.
I think we can rent you. I think we can get you just about anything.
Within the two companies, yeah. But we're just with the whole DJ entertainment.
Yeah.
you
But if
know.
somebody called the DJs and said, "Hey, we also need this and that," we can supply like large tents, all that stuff.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
mean that's completely
That's a
opposite
different-
from what we do. I mean,
Oh.
I try to stick with just the entertainment, just the DJing. We don't need it in like if you want to start getting like okay, then
I
there's
would-
like gobos and
No, people
uplighting
ask
and
me all
pin
the
spot
time.
lighting, and then yes, we do photo booths.
Yeah, it's actually people ask me.
projectors and
So
screens,
hey, I've
which-
had people ask me, "How's your photo booth?" You know,
It's
what I mean?
phenomenal. It's top of the line. I mean, we haven't really scratched the surface much on the ability of what it can do, but I mean, at least now we can do like the 2 by 6 inch strips. We can do the 4 by 6 inch, major, large pictures. You could do 3 pictures. You could do 4 pictures. There are green screen capabilities. There's ways of doing backgrounds and doing things like that. The problem, though, is that with our screen, it's literally just like it's like smaller than an iPad. And it's a PC. So, like, getting these little folders and the little thing, it's really tough, especially on our older photo booth attendants. It's not really the easiest thing to work with. So having a nice big screen, obviously, I think that's key to having a good photo booth, or having, a very good interactive attendant who has like the ability to change everything on like an iPad or something like that. These freestanding kiosks, like they have to push this and do that. I mean, it's very basic and generic what we do. I'm sure there's a lot of other capabilities that we haven't really touched yet, but that's just something I would literally have to take one of these things home with me and play with it all day long.
Yeah,
which we've had like Chris do, and we've had Rainer do, which those are it's a little warm in here. I know. Well, we don't have to go the entire freaking. We're already at like 35 minutes.
Nice. We can keep going, man.
We can go for a little bit. Yeah.
So, how do we get that gig over at the pool? I want to DJ that. We got to talk them into having some kind of DJ there. That would be
at
fun
the pool.
For the summer, yeah.
What pool?
The pool in Carmel.
Oh no, that won't happen.
No. Oh well.
Those the Los Royals Lodge is another venue that we do. They're very, very particular about music.
We do. I've done a few events there actually.
Yeah.
Well, with Colin.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got a question.
Yeah,
they
have speakers outside, and behind the bar they bring up their own like little Spotify playlist that they play background music, and it's all gonna be clean, fun stuff. Having a DJ there, I don't think it would work. It would be fun, but I don't think that will work so well. I'd rather do it like say Bernardus, which I've seen before.
Yeah.
But the problem with Bernardus is that you're actually like in like where their pool is located is like right in the middle of all of their rooms, so. You got to make sure not to disrupt them as well, too.
Yeah, it's a little tricky at Bernardus. So the first year, let's go back to your first year of DJing. Do you recall that year? You don't recall? You don't remember? It's your
1998. I was a sophomore in high school.
I
was going from being a freshman into sophomore in 98. So no, I was going from like a sophomore into junior, basically. That's when we really made the name DNA DJs was our original first name, but we of course experimented before that. Like our
people
freshman
think it's DNAM.
DNAM, yeah. If you look at our
Can I be
logo,
the M in
the M,
yeah. So it could be Anthony,
Darian and
Darian
Anthony and Mario. That is kind of catchy though.
Is Anthony even DJing anymore?
Oh, hardly.
He doesn't.
He
DJ
does.
anymore.
He is DJing this weekend though. Yeah, I have booked him. I think
he just had a kid. Congratulations.
Yeah, I booked him I think 7 or 8 events, weddings or something like that.
They had a kid the same time as my wife.
John does maybe just as much.
Oh, John DJs too?
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, he's our lighting manager for Sheik. So he also works for Sheik and DNA. He kind of does both things.
All seasoned vets.
Yeah. Anyways, we're all DJing. We're all DJs. We all bring it every time we can. Whether we do 8 or 80 doesn't matter. As long as we bring it each time and make the client happy, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So some of us like to DJ more than others. I know that. I love DJing.
I love DJing too.
It gets me out. It gets me to be. I can meet people. I can experience great events. I can witness, great magical moments.
You could do 5 weddings easily: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah,
right?
I could.
You could.
I could. I've done as many as 4 in a row.
One wedding freaks me out. One wedding because there's so much detail, so much. To me, there's. It's not that it's easy. It's that you're dealing with these clients and you're calling them and you have to make sure everything's legit. So how can you go from one wedding, pack up your stuff, and then the next day be ready to do it again and have everything recharged? Like you got to charge your anchors, you got to battery. There's a lot of prayer. You can't just
a lot of little things.
These are things, and then you got to meet clients. Sometimes they don't meet until the week of. These things are so stressful to me that I just can't.
I kind of like that, though, because then I can just worry about those clients for that week and then not have to worry about clients for next week. Like, if you meet with a client for next week's wedding, this week, and then you also have to meet with...
I like
because I've gotten things mixed around before.
No, exactly. So what I do is
I've gotten paperwork mixed around,
Sunday.
and especially when they have some of the same songs. Like, I had a wedding about 2 months
and
ago.
They had the same songs.
They had literally the same songs for the ceremony for both of them. And I accidentally switched the paperwork. it just happened.
That's
And
all.
so the songs were exactly the same, but the song when they were walking
The
away was
orders were
different.
wrong.
Yeah. And so when I played the song when they were walking away, they still danced away, and then
They said something.
they didn't say anything. Actually, I noticed it in my paperwork because when I was getting stuff ready for because
You noticed it, right?
we had cocktail hour, so like obviously it's just background music, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like okay. So I'm looking through the paperwork. I was like, wait a minute. The names don't look right because of the grand entrance I'm about to do. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh my god. So I
See?
double checked and I was like, oh my
See?
god, these are not the same people. So I ran back to my van, had all the paperwork in there,
Oof.
and then I was like, holy crap. I was
Bro.
like, thank God. Like I only screwed up on one song. So I went up to the bride and groom before the grand entrance. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry about the. So they're like, dude, don't worry about it. Like it's fine. It's like whatever. It's just a song. We're walking away. Like you did everything else perfect. It sounded great out there. Like everyone heard everything. So I was just like, kind of like,
man.
oh my god,
See,
my
that's
bad.
The kind of stuff that woo.
You gotta, and I mean, it's just the way I wrote everything down on these two pieces of paper
And
were
that's why
very,
he's,
very identical.
You know, who he is, but at the same time,
It worked
you know,
out.
It's a stressful. You know, people think it's fun. You know, people think that you just show up and play music, but they don't understand. Like people miss meetings.
corporate
People
events are
miss
hard, too.
meetings with their clients. You know, because
Dude, I had a recent corporate event. It was Monterey Credit Union's like appreciation. It wasn't a holiday party, obviously, because it was just recently, and that was tough. It was really, really tough. The background music was fine. They did awards. They did like a little thank you. And then getting people on the dance floor, all they cared about was drinking. That's it.
BMW did the same thing. They didn't want to party.
They didn't
at
really
their
want to
Christmas
party. And so, like, the woman who was in charge, she came up, she's like, oh, I want to hear this kind of music, this kind of music.
Too. And I played
So
it.
she'd get out there for, like, with two people, and she's dancing.
And nobody else got
No,
out there.
and then someone else is like, oh, can you play something like Future or something like that? So I play, I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, nothing.
Bunch of people got on the dance floor. Like,
some Future?
yeah, all for Future, man. They went nuts. And I started playing, like,
Fetty Wap.
Fetty Wap, exactly. Just stuff like that. And they were getting
Migos.
down. They were getting down.
People like rap now, man, but
They
they're
love it.
like kind of secretive about it. And then
And this one girl was just so drunk. She made me play two songs twice. Had to play the wobble twice.
Well,
Had to play the cha-cha slide twice.
if they're dancing to it,
If they're dancing,
I wouldn't do
we
it.
went to
There's
the
things
end.
that I won't play. If someone says, "Hey, would you play Barbie Girl?" I'll say maybe no.
I love Barbie Girl.
No, it's a good song. I would just never play it. I would never play "I'm Too Sexy" or anything like so. Just I don't know. It's just we have different
that?
standards. Did you really?
Hi, Ken. You want to go for a ride?
Okay. You have hot cues for this song.
Yeah.
He's got hot cues for
I
this
do.
song. For those DJs who know what hot cues
You know what my
are.
favorite hot cue is right now,
I don't-
actually? Is 24 Karat. Right, and I was doing this actually the other night. It was hilarious. Everyone was
You can
loving
scratch to him.
it. No, it was just like part where it's like
I actually put a little reverb on him.
it's like you're playing a song, you're like, and you're playing a song.
This guy, he still has time
This
to
guy.
have fun.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
so
you gotta
let's
have
talk-
fun, right?
let's
If you
talk
can't have
about
fun,
that first year, man, did you have fun? No, first year was a really stressful year for me. Working with the company, I didn't, mess up too much. But
you
no,
were very technical with everything. I think a little too much. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like having triplicates of every song that you're going to be playing, but it wasn't necessary.
triplicates. I
This guy
never
was
had
worrying way
triplicates.
too much more about like having backup for this and that and the other thing. He was just like he was ready, but then like certain clients got to him sometimes, and they're like, oh man, I got these people and they want this music, and I don't really know.
Well, there was a few tricky ones, man. There's tricky ones. It's just like, look,
Yeah.
when you're doing like a Chinese wedding, and they want you to do a lot of stuff, and
Oh yeah,
it's
good
stressful,
Filipino
like the
wedding.
I can
with
now. I'm a
30
seasoned
different
vet, I can do
people
it
that you got to
easily. I can-
introduce.
I have no, and so you have to talk with them so you don't butcher names. You have to communicate. Communication is key. Communication is key. No, we have to keep saying that. But yeah,
It
so the
is.
first year was tricky, and then the second year was a little bit, less hard. But let's say the
good.
third year was probably the funnest.
Well, I was throwing everything I could at you, just kind of like how I do with most of our other newer DJs like Chris Adame. I throw him as much as possible. Like I'm having him do these graduations that are coming up. That's a great way to learn how to do live, audio mixing with a 12-channel mixer. You're working with a couple wireless microphones and doing it that way. you know, stuff like that. You know, it's good to kind of get your hands wet in every other kind of, not just weddings, not just corporate events.
How many DJs do we have?
We have 10.
Oh man,
10.
So
which is a good. That's a good amount of DJs.
There are 10 events going on.
But we had 12 last year. You know, and it's nice to have that little bit of flexibility. Okay, if this guy can't do this event, or I think this guy would do a better job on this event, I'm going to send him. Yeah. So now I don't have that luxury of having those 2 extra guys, which was nice to have, especially on days where we're booking like crazy. There's quite a few days that we're almost booked solid, like very, very close.
Yeah.
And I can see that happening. And that's not including photo booths, you know. And some of these DJs or photo booth attendants need time off, just like anybody else.
Yeah,
you know, who aren't working full time for the company, like myself, Anthony and John.
So what songs are you bumping right now? Are you opening any like sets off to like Bruno Mars?
Yeah, you know, I kind of start, you know, around the 104, 105 BPM.
Really?
Because I think that's a good kind of tempo to kind of get people going. It's not super quick, it's not super fast, but it's not too slow. It really depends, though, on the crowd and what the bride and groom initially want. Yeah. So if you're reading the crowd and people seem a little bit younger, then yes, I'll start with like Uptown Funk or 24 Karat. My go-to song is Brick House. That's my all-time favorite song to go to. But if they don't request Brick House,
with the funk right away.
I hit them with the funk, man, because everyone loves that song. It's the easiest song, and then you could easily go from that to like, you know. Play That Funky Music, to Heard Through the Grapevine, to It Takes Two, to some Prince Kiss. You get into now the Justin Timberlake song, which is like 113. Then you got, Make You Want to Sweat, you know, that kind of bring. So like I have like this, like between 105 and 120, I got like 30 or 40 songs I have to choose from that I like to kind of just play around with. And that's like always my opening set. And then after that, then I'll throw like a slow song in to kind of bring down the energy, get people just like, oh my God, you know. And then you can go into the cake cutting, which I've been noticing now. The cake cutting is actually happening a lot more often after the dinner before the dancing. Have you noticed that?
No.
Because usually, in the past, it's been like
dinner or before the dancing.
After dinner, before dancing, you do cake cutting. You get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Which before it was like it's like, okay, after dinner people are antsy to get onto the dance floor, so we do the traditional dances, then we do about a good 20-30 minute opening set, and then you do the cake cutting, which gives them, you know, then they have works up an appetite, but then you're bringing down the energy a little bit, and people want to sit down, they'll have, you know, coffee or tea or something like that.
That's a buzz kill.
Yes, but then you keep it going by doing right after the cake cutting. Okay, now the fantastic staff here is going to be cutting out the cake for everyone to enjoy. Before they bring that out, we're going to be going to the bouquet toss and the garter toss. You know, so you kind of keep it going like that. So that's what we've always been doing. And then just recently, I've been noticing that, you know what, that's not working that much anymore, and less people are doing the bouquet and garter tosses. Have you been noticing that?
No, people still do.
Mostly weddings now are full of people, people who are in relationships or who are already married.
Yeah.
And so having a bouquet and garter tosses is almost pointless.
Yeah.
So it's like now you got to fill in that void in a way.
You know, if they have a videographer or a photographer, you know, I still coordinate with them to, you know, try to get the best shot, because I like to do a little bit of photography myself.
Yeah,
so
it's always good to have an eye for that too.
Right.
But then again, you know, we are the professional DJ; they are the professional photographer, videographer.
Oh, I don't get in the way.
You know, keeping
I just
communication. Obviously, that's the number one thing. And then, of course, if they want to tap into your output,
always, I'm always ready for them too. I'm like, oh, here you go. We have
you know, I don't even have them touch that anymore. I just do like XLR out from my speakers.
Yeah, you can have them do that too, that's a good idea too. But you know, there's so many different ways to do things. If I could like play like funk for everyone, you know, I would, but I can't. I can't just show up at a wedding and play.
But that's what makes weddings so enjoyable. Is because you could go from funk to like
I can't when it's appropriate
to like a dance to like a Latin song to a country song.
I'm surprised how much people love Suavemente.
It never gets old.
I'm just surprised at amount of people. Like I've had black people, Chinese people, Korean people. Vietnamese people.
This is my new favorite Latin song though.
Ask me.
Have you heard this one?
Pitbull, yeah.
Bailar with Pitbull and Elvis Crespo. So it's got this great beat, right? It's about 120 28,
Does it drop?
it drops.
The remix. What's the remix?
Remix. And it kind of goes right there, and it goes into this like suavemente kind of thing. Oh, we're not... See, and then it drops into this like huge build up, and then here it goes. Right. There you go.
I love this mixer. So, do you ever use the USB? Because I've been having issues with that. I did.
I have it ready to go because I've been noticing with the more music I put on my hard drive, the more music that goes on my external.
Let's talk about that.
It's not that responsive, man.
No,
this
man.
computer is kind of obsolete. It's about 2 years old. It's a MacBook Air.
No, it's not obsolete. Are you out of your mind? If it's 2 years old, it's still really good.
I'm sure it's still good.
Does it have a solid state drive in it?
I believe so.
Okay, well then you need to delete all your crates, or just get rid of your crates. You don't need crates. You make your playlist. Make your playlist in iTunes. That's it. Just make your playlist in iTunes and then delete the music, and it'll.
You know,
stay in
I've
your
heard
iTunes.
of people doing that, but I kind of like just sticking with.
It analyzes your songs. It's
the keys and everything too.
Okay, the problem with this is this. Let me break it down. This is why I do it, and this will happen. This has probably happened to you more than me. Okay, when you have a hard drive plugged into it, okay,
yeah,
and you are playing your music, and it's using the music from that hard drive, right? From that hard drive,
right. The ideal setup would be having a terabyte in this computer.
No, you don't need that much music because you don't go through that much music. It's good to have the hard drive in case you look.
Yeah,
for
it
a
is
song.
kind of pointless for me to have my 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s music on that hard drive on the external.
On the computer, you don't.
But
need
on the
it
computer, I have it. The thing is almost full already with just
What
like
I'm saying is
background
you
music
don't
I have
need that.
already.
You don't need it. You just put the music that you're going to use the day of on it, right? And maybe a few dance crates, that you're going to dance to.
But
people.
sometimes it doesn't happen all like that, Like I don't really take the time to literally grab every single event I do and then make a complete new playlist for it. I mean, I think that's like,
So you recycle your playlist?
Occasionally, yeah. For background music, for cocktail hour, absolutely. I just click on the ones that I think will work great, and then it's just background music.
I guess, but I just not everywhere. It's just like
because we don't really perform until dancing starts.
What if it's an all country wedding?
I have on my iTunes. I have country background ceremony. I have a couple other crates on my iTunes.
But you don't go. So you have to do it like.
And see. Look. So if I open up iTunes right now, I have cocktail.
Okay.
Right. So I
do you
have
Tennessee whiskey on there.
No, not on that. I'd probably put that under country slow or country something. I have jazz, piano guys.
Okay.
Spanish guitar, surf guitar.
And so you have all your music on your
string.
iTunes, and that's also on. That can also be on your.
I don't put them both together. I don't like that.
It's why it uses it and it analyzes the music. So iTunes. Okay,
yeah, but Serato already does that.
Analyzes your music. See, people get this is the weirdest thing I don't get. Because if your hard drive were to stop working, then it also crashes your system. But it doesn't do that when you use it through iTunes. So
I'm sure it could happen. That's why I have that USB stick right there.
Okay, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, again, it's better to have your laptop clear of all the stuff and clutter and just use the music that you're going to need. And if you need to search for a song, then you'd always have your hard drive plugged in, so you can always search for a song. It's and just grab the song and play it and see if that's a song. And what I do is I drag it to the desktop before I drag it into Serato, because if you grab it from the hard drive again and you play it into Serato, it's going to grab it from the hard drive, and if that hard drive were to stop working, it's going to crash your Serato, which happens a lot when you have a lot of crates.
This was very technical, wasn't it?
Yes, but this is the reason why I do it, and it took me a long time.
He's making sure that the worst of the worst does not happen. He's got a plan A, plan B, plan C, and D.
No, but I optimized my
AC/DC.
laptop for DJing.
AC/DC.
No, it's optimized for DJing. That's what it's for. It's only for DJing. That's all I do with that one.
And you know what sucks? I don't even have a backup computer. This is my one and only computer I've been using.
You just need an iPod, because if my laptop were to crash, I can go here, go to what is it? If we're at Cocktail Hour, boom. Yeah. Cocktail Hour would be number 3, my playlist, and it would have 34 songs on there. Boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then if it was still fucked up, if it was still messed up, and I couldn't get it to work, then I just go to the next thing, which would be the first dance or the cake cutting or whatever we talked about, But I'd have something for
I can't imagine where my mindset would be if my computer crashed like right before the first dance and I didn't have anything.
You'd have to pull out your phone and try to work.
My phone and just work something out that way.
But I've seen that happen at home and ranch, and it didn't work very well.
Really?
Yeah, remember it was like downloading. This was before Hotspot. This was when Hotspot first came out. There was a hotspot we were downloading, and we didn't have a good hotspot. We didn't just have a good.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Well, you were training. We were training.
Yeah.
See, these are things that like I saw happen, and now I prepare for them because I don't want them to ever happen to me.
Preparation is preparation H.
I've forgotten a laptop charger. I've forgotten.
I've done that too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Where was I? Shoot, I was. Oh my God, I was going to Salinas. No, I was going to Hollister.
Not for anything. It's a lot
I was going to Hollister for a wedding, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I think I had that feeling I forgot something. You always have that weird feeling like, oh my God, like, did I bring batteries? Did I bring this? And I'm driving on 101, and I look at my case. I'm like, oh no, it's not there.
You just knew.
So I literally drove to the nearest
Apple store.
Best Buy.
Oh.
I got lucky. They had one there. It was like $79.
Yeah, they're expensive.
And then I used it that night, and I took it back the next day. Got my money back. Yeah.
This guy's smart.
So, but yeah, you can't stress more enough by making sure you have the essentials. You got to have both. Like I did an event where just recently I didn't have my speaker stands. Thankfully, I had extra ones there that I used for my anchors. But Chris Adame was using my K12s, so I was using some K8s, and I didn't have my speaker stands. So always double check those certain things.
I forgot my table once, so I had to use a venue's table.
Yeah, see,
it's happened.
It happens, man.
Cables and stuff happens. It doesn't happen a lot anymore, but it's happened in the past to where you just you got to double check.
You got to double check, but even with double checking, sometimes you might forget that one thing. But knowing how to continue without anyone knowing that something bad happened, that's even better.
Yeah. And I can't stress too much. That's what it was. Peace of mind for the client. That's what when you talk with them, and I don't call. I try not to talk to them like before the week or the week before of the wedding, because if you start talking to them a month before, which is okay to do, and you give them a little more peace of mind, but if you do that, then you start getting stuff confused with what's going on the week
with
of,
other things going on,
right?
Yeah.
So
I get that a lot,
and I tell them that.
I get that a lot. I get confused sometimes too, and
let your clients know. Let's say, hey, we can set up something for a little closer to the date. Let's just talk a little bit about this. This is what I need from you guys, and that's it.
It's hard being a secretary, a DJ, and a manager all at once.
Well, you do a great job. You book us and you keep us really busy.
I do my best. That's for sure.
We like what we do. And
cool. Well, hey, we pretty much made it. We made it to 58 minutes. We can definitely drag this out for another 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop a little set here.
So yeah, we made it through episode 3. I know we've been doing this now every other week. I think that's probably a good thing to do right now instead of doing it every week. It's realistically, we'll probably do it every other week. It's basically me who's doing this whole thing. So I want to thank Mario for coming out and being our VIP guest today.
Yeah, sorry guys. He woke me up at 3 a.m. to do this, so I was a little sleepy today, but.
Cool. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. This is on my channel. Eventually, I will make a video DJ podcast YouTube channel. I'm still working on finally pulling the plug and going onto SoundCloud better by paying for it rather than doing it free, so I can actually make it an actual podcast that you can download on iTunes, which is cool. Steb is kind of helping me with that. What's up, Steb Montez, DJ Bad DJ? So that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time at the Mobile DJ Video Podcast.
Holla.
Holla, holla. DNA Entertainment, we want to thank you for providing all the equipment, and Sheik Events for providing the location.
Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me in the back? What was that? Let me do a little scratch and mix. Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.